for another exciting installment of Matt Gloss, Photographer for Hire. The story of one man bravely facing the glamorous, dangerous, and sometimes deadly world of all-occasion photography with nothing more than raw courage and determination. And now, Matt Gloss, Photographer for Hire. Of all the photography joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine. Even though we had parted ways years before, I knew one day she would return. I was a young and upcoming all-occasion photographer, and she was a waitress at the local diner. We had a whirlwind romance. She loved me like no woman has ever loved a man before, but the demands of my profession were bound to break us apart. I broke her heart all those years ago, but I knew she would never recover. I knew she would never get over it. I knew she would never forget me. And now, here she was, standing in my doorway, no doubt wanting me back, willing to swallow her pride, willing to beg in the hope that I would take her back. Knowing she was a little out of breath after walking the surprisingly long distance from my office door to my desk, I spoke first. Well, if it isn't Dolly Grumbacher.
That's right. How did you know? Have we met before?
Oh, come now, Dolly. Don't be coy with me.
I'm not being coy with you. I don't even know what being coy means. If we've met before, I'm sorry, but I seem to have forgotten your face.
Very funny, Dolly.
For someone I've never met, you sure know a few things about me. For instance, how did you know my name was Dolly Grumbacher? Everyone knows me as Dolly Falana now.
So, you changed your name as a way to forget the past.
I changed my name because I'm an actress, and Dolly Falana sounds much better than Dolly Grumbacher.
Well, you're not much of an actress. I can see right through you, just like I always could. But here you are in my photography studio, hoping to reignite the romance we once had.
I'm in your photography studio because I want to hire you to make a portrait of me.
Well, there you go being coy again. You want to hire me to take a portrait of you, hoping that while we're working together, I'll fall back in love with you.
I'm hoping you'll take my portrait so I can give it to my boyfriend as a present for his birthday.
Well, it won't work, Dolly. I tell you, it won't work. Can't you get it through your head? It's all over between us. You've got to forget about me. You've got to move on.
Move on? You mean I'm in the wrong office? Aren't you Matt Gloss, Photographer for Hire?
Of course I'm Matt Gloss, Photographer for Hire. Like you could forget me. You're really not that good at being coy, are you, Dolly? But of course, you never were.
Well, if you're Matt Gloss, Photographer for Hire, then I don't need to move on. It's you I've come to see. I want you to take a portrait of me.
Yeah, I heard all that. And you wanted to give it to your boyfriend as a present for his birthday.
That's right.
It's a fool's game you're playing, Dolly. You think that by coming in here and wearing that beautiful gown and those expensive pearls, all glamorous and looking like $1,000,000, that I'm going to take you back.
I look like $1,000,000 because I want to look my best for this portrait I want you to make.
Sure you do. All right, I'll play along. So who is this boyfriend of yours anyway?
His name's Bruiser O'Toole.
I see. So you think you can make me jealous by telling me some story about a palooka named Bruiser O'Toole. And what does this boyfriend of yours do for a living?
He works as a bouncer down at the Casablanca Club on 3rd Street.
Well, that figures. I suppose he's a 6-foot-tall, 250-pound brute, huh?
No, he's more like 6'5". He probably weighs closer to 300 pounds. All muscle, of course.
And that's supposed to make me jealous?
Now, why would I want to make you jealous?
You're only embarrassing yourself, Dolly, coming in here dressed to the hilt with your beautiful blue eyes, pouting lips, and the prettiest face this side of the Mississippi, all in the hopes of winning back my affections.
So you can take the portrait? Can we do it right now?
I have to admit, you've gone to a lot of trouble to get me back, Dolly. What perfume are you wearing? It's really pretty intoxicating.
Should I sit over here, on this stool in front of this white screen?
Yeah, you always did have beautiful eyes, Dolly. A man could get lost in eyes that beautiful. Except for a man like me, of course.
Do you have a mirror? I'd like to check my hair.
Well, don't you worry about your hair, Dolly. You've got it just perfect for your little ploy here, all shimmering and flowing and blonde. I always did like your hair, all shimmering and flowing and blonde.
How'd you like me to pose? How about like this?
Well, the years sure have been kind to you, Dolly. I'd say you're more attractive now than when I broke your heart and left you crying all those years ago.
Of course, if I turn this way and tilt my head a bit, you can get my good side. Don't you think?
Just then, a big brute of a man walked into my studio. He was about 6'5" and weighed close to 300 pounds. Although that description sounded strangely familiar to me, I had no idea who he was.
Wow, that's a surprisingly long distance from the office door to your desk here. But, hey, anyway, how's the portrait coming, Dolly?
We were just getting started, Bruiser, honey.
Ah, so you're supposed to be her quote-unquote boyfriend, huh?
That's right, Bruiser O'Toole. You must be Matt Gloss.
Yeah, I see Dolly has told you all about me.
No, not really. We were looking for photographers, and your ad was the first one we came across.
Well, I've got some bad news for you, pal.
What? You can't take the picture?
No, here's the picture. Dolly and I are madly in love, see? And I've decided to take her back and to pick up where we left off.
What? Pick up where you left off? What's he talking about, baby?
I don't know, Bruiser, darling. There's nothing between him and me. I've never even met him before.
Oh, come now, Dolly. We've already established how lousy you are at being coy.
Look, pal, if Dolly says there's nothing between you two, there's nothing between you two, see?
Well, you don't know the half of it, pal. I know this is going to be hard for you to take, but here it is. She doesn't love you. She loves me. So scram. Yeah, you heard me. Beat it.
Maybe we should just find another photographer, Bruiser, baby.
Yeah, but first, this! Let's go, baby.
In the end, I couldn't blame her. As much as she wanted me to take her back, she knew there was a good chance I'd have to drop her again, and the thought of the heartbreak and the pain was just too much for her. Poor kid. I hope she will eventually be able to get over me, but, well, as for me, it's all in a day's work for Matt Gloss, photographer for hire.